When playing a fighting game, it's not enough just to beat your opponent into submission. No. Sometimes you need that extra bit of flair at the very end, truly showing who's the best. Now, these don't technically mean that they're the final attack in the match like a fatality, but these are definitely the big moves that people definitely go nuts over. So, now for the rules. Only one finisher per game series, and only games I've played can be on this list.
My blade is angry. Want a taste?
This is Crow of Murder 15's Top 10 Fighting Game Finishers.
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No?
What do you mean you weren't recording that?
At the time of this video being made, Injustice 2 has not officially come out yet, so we're gonna have to settle for the first one. Injustice was the fighting game that DC fans had been waiting for a long time. Along with fighting as some of your favorite DC heroes and villains, each character had their own unique ultras. Most of these were just pure eye candy, but my personal favorite didn't come along until a certain bounty hunter was made playable. Lobo first hits you with his chain hook, then runs you over with his hover bike, blasts you with his shotgun, burns you up with his exhaust flames, and then flips you the bird for just good measure. Man, this guy's a dick.
They don't call me the main man for nothing.
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No?
What do you mean you weren't recording that?
Castlevania Judgment flew under a lot of people's radars for a couple of reasons. One for being on the Wii, and well, for some reason a lot of people didn't like this game, but I thought it was a pretty good fighting game. Each character had their own unique finishers. My personal favorite is Grant's. He lets out a little chuckle before rushing you with his blades, jumps in the air, and makes a crap ton of shuriken appear, using wires to drive them all towards you. Now that's what I call some acupuncture.
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No?
What do you mean you weren't recording that?
Over the years, Street Fighter has become one of the main staples in the fighting game scene. However, it wouldn't see the Super Gauge until Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. After that, each game had its own spin on the Super Gauge, but none of them were flashier than Super Street Fighter 4's Ultras, especially this one from Ken. The Guren Senpaki... Okay, that move starts off with a few kicks, then ramps it up with a rising tornado kick surrounded in flames. Now that's what I call one hot attack.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burned.
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No?
What do you mean you weren't recording that?
If fighting game finishers are going to be discussed, you know some of your favorite anime fighting games are going to be brought up, and one of the most popular is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. Most of the ultimate attacks are some of the most iconic moves in the show, including a certain prince that once asked a machine if it could feel fear. Yep, it's Vegeta's Big Bang Attack. Now I know a lot of people are more fond of the Final Flash, but just the raw power and explosion caused by this blast makes me like it a little more. And for those wondering on my thoughts of Final Explosion, that's more of the Fiery Joker's thing.
Cut!
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No?
What do you mean you weren't recording that?
Mortal Kombat XL had a lot of hit or miss fatalities. I understand it is hard to come up with new concepts for fatalities, but these were either grand slams or just made you go, huh. Quan Chi managed to disturb me with this one though. He mind controls his victim while a sharp blade is pointed out towards them. What's so disturbing about this finisher is the person walking towards the blade is fully aware of what's going on and cannot control their actions. I can only imagine what's going on in their mind.
No, 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 no!
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No?
What do you mean you weren't recording that?
When the new Killer Instinct first came out back in 2013, the only type of finishers that were available at the start were the Ultra Combos. Think of them as the Killer Instinct versions of Mortal Kombat Brutalities and Mortal Kombat Trilogy. But as the game received more and more updates, we were finally introduced to the Ultimates, and the one that takes the cake for me is Fulgor's. He opens his chestplate and fires what I believe is his Devastation Beam. Guess you could say that Fulgore is
Firing my laser!
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No? What do you mean you weren't recording that?
So until we get Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite in September, we'll have to settle for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Along with the level 1 ultimate moves, each character has an amazing cinematic ultimate move. And while Deadpool's is probably the most hilarious, I'm looking for something a little more impactful, which is why number 4 goes to Ghost Rider's level 3 ultimate, Penance Stare. Ghost Rider stares into the eyes of his victim and makes them suffer for all of their sins. Think of it like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth but on crack. It'd be something like this.
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No? What do you mean you weren't recording that?
Leave it to one of the Naruto games to show some extremely flashy ultimate jutsus. However, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 amped it up with Team Ultimate Jutsus. Now, some of you might be thinking that I'd be picking Deidara's and Sasori's Team Jutsu. But nope, in this case, I'm picking the Itachi brothers. I'm gonna let this one speak for itself. Well, since Naruto's story is basically over, I guess it's time for the new generation to take over, huh? We're all doomed, aren't we?
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No? What do you mean you weren't recording that?
Super Smash Bros. For Wii U/3DS is chock full of different final smashes. Only one character can take this spot though, and even though I don't main him, he's still my favorite character considering he's from one of my all-time favorite video game series. So for this one, Mega Man Classic shoots a black hole at you, taking you to where 4 other variations of Mega Man appear and unleash complete laser hell on you. Honestly, Capcom needs to look into this, making a Mega Man game where the different variations cross paths. But then again, this is Capcom we're talking about, so...
You were recording that, weren't you, player? No? What do you mean you weren't recording that?
Now, this is a series I didn't get into until about a year ago, BlazBlue. The fighting system is fantastic. The story, yeah, don't even try to follow it. Confusing as hell. However, another area where this game shines are the astral finishes, which most of them are amazing short cutscenes. And my personal favorite and number 1 on this list belongs to Hazama. Hazama will summon his Ouroboros chains, followed by several energy snakes that form into one large giant snake, coiling back and then striking towards the screen. This finisher is flashy, well animated, and in your face. And that's why Hazama's Astral Finish is my number 1 fighting game finisher. I'm Crow of Murder 15, and it's time to finish this.